Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm back with you with another video. Today I'd like to talk about my first 48 hours with the OnePlus 8 Pro. Now I know just maybe a week or two I said made a video about why I'm sticking with my OnePlus 7T Pro, which is right here. And I don't regret, the video, of course, because that's the way I felt, about the device at the time. But I decided to check out the 8 Pro because I had been curious about this device for probably about a year now, honestly. And I know right now the OnePlus 9 Pro is the new big boy on the block. But sometimes new is not always necessarily better. Sometimes, the year before phone could have some things to it that the newer phones don't have, or people could just like older stuff better than the newer stuff. So new don't always mean necessarily better all the time. Of course, the 9 Pro is going to be an upgrade from the 8 Pro, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. I mean, you're talking about $1,000 plus tax when you could find this one for 500, under $600, or just a little over, depending on if you get it, brand new, open box, pre-used. It depends on how you get it. Now, you'd probably be better off getting it either open box, in my opinion, or brand new. Just so you'll know, just for your peace of mind, I would say. All right, so I gotta say, after 48 hours, I'm super impressed with this device. I'm telling you, this thing is off the hook. This OnePlus 8 Pro, man, it is definitely, in my opinion, taking the place of the 7T Pro. Now, this is not going to be a full-blown review. Just basically just going to let you know how I feel about the device and just give you quickly the specs. Now, I know it's been out a while. I know somebody may say I'm really late to the party, but hey, it is what it is. Some people, review things later on, and it's what it is. What it is. Like I said, I was curious about it. I got it. I'm not disappointed in this device whatsoever. But just quickly, let's go over the specs. Now, of course, it was released in 2020, and it's unlocked for all carriers. Now, with the display, you got the 6.7-inch Quad HD Plus Fluid AMOLED HDR10 Plus display with 120 hertz refresh rate. Now, with the 7T Pro, it had a 90 hertz refresh rate. Now, I'll tell you right now, there's not a big difference between 90 hertz and 120 hertz. Not to me, honestly. Now, I know people think the 120 hertz is so much better than 90, but in my daily usage of the device, it's the same amount of smoothness to me, and scrolling is great on both devices. All right, now you're getting 513 pixels per square inch, so that means the display looks absolutely amazing, and I'm telling you right now, it does. It really does. All right, now you're getting 90% screen to body ratio, and they also put on a pre-installed screen protector, which they didn't do with the 7T Pro. So I appreciate that from OnePlus. And also, something that really separates this display from this display big time is the new motion graphics smoothing. I really can't explain it. Like, when you're looking at video on this thing, it literally looks like it's like real life. Like, honestly, I don't know if you'll be able to see it looking at this, but just see if you can tell. I mean, it literally looks like it's real life. Like, it's not a movie. It don't look like a movie. It looks like real life. I mean, it's hard to explain, but this is the best viewing experience I've had on any display ever. And I've had a lot of phones, but I've never seen nothing that looks this real, honestly. So that motion graphics smoothing is off the hook. I mean, it's just amazing, really is. So you can see the display and how beautiful this display. I mean, it's beautiful. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, it's a little narrower than the 7T Pro, but just a little bit. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I wasn't going to get this initially, because I thought they made the phone too narrow. Now, of course, I'm looking at it off of videos, a lot of reviews I've watched, and I've watched probably close to 50 reviews of this phone, because before I decide to get anything, I'm always going to look at as many reviews as possible. I do deep research on anything before I decide to get it or to check it out. And some videos it looked like it wasn't that narrow, some it did. So it just went back and forth. I was a little confused. I'm like, let me just get it, check it out. If it's too narrow, then I just won't deal with it at all. But I gotta tell you, it's not that much. It's not a big deal, honestly. It's really, when you hold it in your hand, it's not really narrow at all, honestly. It's slightly narrower than the 17 Plus, but not by much, honestly. It really isn't. So now the thing is, with this one, it's heavier. This is definitely lighter. So if you're a person that don't like heavy phones, you definitely like the weight of this better than the 17 Pro. Because the 17 Pro, this is the kind of weight I like on my phone. It's more substantial, but this is not bad. I mean, it's definitely lighter, but for some reason, both of these have a matte finish. This one has a matte finish. I only put it back in the case because it kept sliding off the table. This one has a matte finish too, but this one is not slippery at all. I could definitely use this without a case easily without worrying about falling out, slipping out of my hand. This one I cannot. It's like holding a wet bar, of soap. Super slippery. Now also, when I hold it in my hand without a case, it feels sharp. It doesn't feel very comfortable. That's why I prefer the case. But this one I could actually rock without a case and don't have to worry about it. It feels very comfortable. I don't know what OnePlus did. Maybe they rounded it off a little bit, but it's not as sharp. Fits very comfortable in my hand, and it's definitely not slippery. So that's the reason why I really had this on the table, just to make a few comparisons. But let me get back to the specs really quick. All right, so with the build quality, of course, you got Gorilla Glass 5. Yeah, it's an older Gorilla Glass, but it's a durable one. Just because something don't have the latest Gorilla Glass don't mean that it's not as good. Gorilla Glass 5 is actually a lot less scratch resistant. I mean, more scratch resistant than the Gorilla Glass 6. Now, I know the newest Gorilla Glass is Gorilla Glass Victus, but I'm telling you right now, I don't have a problem with Gorilla Glass 5 at all. I never did. So this feels super premium. The build quality, the build quality is excellent. It really is. It feels really good in the hand. You got your power button right here. You got your alert slider right here that a lot of people like. No big deal to me because I always keep my phones on vibrate anyway. Down at the bottom, of course, you got your speaker, USB Type-C port, and your SIM ejection where you put your SIM at. On the side, you got your volume rockers. And at the top, of course, you have another mic. So I'm telling you right now, I got this glacial green. First time I've ever had a green phone. And I got to tell you, this thing feels so good. It looks great. I love this color. This is actually the color I wanted to get. I've had the blue, and the Nebula blue is cool. But I really wanted this this glacial green. I love it. So the build quality on this is great. Okay. Now, also, you get, of course, with this aluminum frame, IP68 water and dust resistance. Now, this is something that you did not get on the 7T Pro. No water and dust resistance. This is the first time OnePlus put an official IP certification on their devices, and this is something a lot of people, OnePlus fans have been waiting for years. So they finally did it, so that's great. That really sends it even further in that flagship category, okay? Now, that's new from last year. Now, with the chipset, you get the Snapdragon 865 and the Andreno 650 GPU. So I'm telling you right now, it's fast and it's very smooth. No problem with that. You're getting 12 gigs of RAM. So you'll have plenty of room for the holding apps open in the background. Helps it run even smoother. 256 gigs of internal memory, which is great. Always on display, as you can see right here. Something I've been waiting for OnePlus to put on their phones for years also. They did have it on, I believe, the 6T, if I'm not mistaken, and then they took it away. I don't know why. Only thing that I wish they had on here was the I wish the icons were colored, and I also wish that you could always see the fingerprint sensor all the time, at least make that an option. But I do appreciate and like the fact that it does have an always on display finally. Now, with that, you get the in-display optical fingerprint sensor. Now, the thing that's different from this one as opposed to the one from the 7T Pro is that, I'll wait for a second. I want to show you something. You could actually use it without having to turn the screen on first. You can't do that with the 7T Pro. You have to double click in order to see that fingerprint sensor, as you see right there. But now, all you got to do is, hopefully you know where it is exactly. That's why I said it should be lit. But all you got to do is put your finger on it and it turns the screen on. No more hitting the power button or double clicking to turn it on. Now, all you got to do is push down in the area and it comes on automatically. Let me turn this brightness down a little bit because I got it maxed out because that's the way I like my display. All right, you got dual stereo speakers on this device. Definitely an upgrade from last year. I mean, not last year, from the 7T Pro, I'm sorry. Definitely an upgrade from the 7T Pro. Sound a little more clear and a little more better sound quality. With the battery, 4,510 milliamp battery, up from the 4,085 milliamp battery on the 7T Pro. 30 watt super fast wired charging. That's pretty much the same warp charging as the 7T Pro, but you're getting 30 watt super fast wireless chargers. So you can go from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes. That's new. This was the first device to get wireless charging from OnePlus. It took them forever to finally give us wireless charging. Now, I know everybody don't care about wireless charging. Some people think it's a gimmick, but I'm telling you, it's not. When you got wireless charging stands all over the place and you can just stick your phone on there. When you're done, just take it off and keep it moving. You don't have to plug anything up. I like that. And of course, you can use your phone while it's wirelessly charging. So I love the fact that they finally put wireless charging on it. But the thing they did, when they decided to put the wireless charging on here, they went big and made it 30 watts. That's way faster than Samsung. So it's pretty sad that Samsung, when they came out with the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus and the S10 and the S10 Plus, that they put 15 watt fast wireless charging on their devices. That was a joke. Seriously. And this phone was cheaper than those devices when it came out. So I appreciate OnePlus for finally putting wireless charging. And they went big. They went super fast wireless charging as opposed to slow wireless charging. And they're all about speed anyway. So I think that's why they waited to do it up and do it big when they did it. And also, they added another new thing. They gave us 3 watt reverse wireless charging. Now, I wish the reverse wireless charging was a little faster, but I guess they don't expect you to use their phone to actually charge another phone. But it would have been nice if it was a little higher than 3 watts. But you can use it to charge another device, your smartwatch. You can use wireless earbuds, so that's cool. That's a new feature up from the 7T Pro. Of course, you got face unlock. Now, the difference between this and, of course, the 7T is that you see this little punch hole up there. You have no more pop-up selfie camera, which I really like that feature on the 7T Pro. And the reason why I like this so much is because with the 7T Pro, you had all display. You had no punch hole. You had no interruption in the screen whatsoever, all screen. And I like that. Okay, I love that. So that's something that you don't have here anymore. You got that little punch hole, and it's not bad. It's small. It's all the way to the left. Now, I prefer to be in the middle, but that's me because I, believe in symmetry. But it's cool. It's not a big problem. All right, you're getting NFC, Bluetooth 5.1. I already talked about the alert slider. Now, with the cameras, you're getting a 48 megapixel wide with laser autofocus, optical image stabilization, 8 megapixel telephoto with optical image stabilization, and a 3x optical zoom. You're also getting a 48 megapixel ultra wide and a 5 megapixel color filter, which I think is completely useless, but they put it on here. So it is what it is. Rear camera shoots in 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second, and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. Also 240 frames per second, which is slow motion. And of course, you're getting electronic image stabilization. Excuse me. Now, the cameras have definitely been improved over the 7T Pro. 17 Pro wasn't bad, but these actually are flagship cameras. Now, when I do my full review, you'll see the photos that I've taken in the video, and you can judge that for yourself. With the selfie camera, 16 megapixel wide, shoots at 1080p and 30 frames per second. So no 4K and no 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is a disappointment, especially when you're calling yourself a pro. All right. Now, the things that are missing for me with this device, which it may seem petty to you, but it's just what I feel is what's missing. First thing, and I know people are going to be like, come on, man, get over it or whatever. No, headphone jack. This should have a headphone jack. There's nothing wrong with having a headphone jack. It should have a headphone jack. Number two, no high-res audio. The audio is okay, but it's not like a quad DAC. It's okay. OnePlus needs to step up when it comes to the audio, in my opinion, okay? No expandable storage. Now, that's the one thing I'm dying for them to add to these devices, seriously. Come on, OnePlus. You only offer us 128 and 256 gigs. It ain't like you offering 512 and a terabyte. If you're not going to give us expandable memory, start us out at 256 and make a 512 gig variant. Enough with the 128. Enough with it. 256 and 512. For good measure, a terabyte would be nice if you're not going to give us expandable storage. Next, no 4K recording on the selfie camera, which I talked about. That's a disappointment. No headphones in the box, which it should be, and no dongle in the box. So no dongle and no headphones. So you could at least give us a dongle if you weren't going to give us any headphones. But that's basically the only thing that's missing, in my opinion. But I'll tell you right now, the first 48 hours with this device have been great. I'm loving this device. It's excellent. I like everything about it, honestly. I mean, this device is the truth. Now, I'm sure the 9 Pro is great too. But if you're thinking about moving up from the 7 Pro or the 7T Pro to the 8 Pro, you should definitely do it because it's definitely worth the upgrade. Definitely worth your money. Seriously, I'm not lying. Definitely. I was wrong, to judge this thing without actually having it in hand and checking it out. But that video experience, when you're watching media on here, like videos, I'm telling you, when you see it, it looks like literally like it's real life. Like they're jumping out of the screen. It's so crystal clear and it's so smooth. I can't even explain it. It don't look like a movie. So I'm just trying to tell y'all what. Definitely, this is worth the upgrade over this. It's a major, major upgrade because you're getting better cameras. You're getting better battery life. You're getting 120 hertz refresh rate. You're getting reverse wireless charging, 30-watt wireless charging, IP68 water and dust resistance, a bigger battery. You can use the fingerprint sensor without double tapping first. Always on display. I mean, a newer chipset, IP68 water and dust resistance. I mean, you're getting it all. I mean, this is definitely worth the upgrade over the 7 Pro or the 7T Pro. All right, so that was my quick 48 hours impressions of the OnePlus 8 Pro. I'll be doing a full review very, very soon. Just give me a couple weeks. And I do have my LG Wing full review coming very, very soon. So tune in for that. Please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And I do appreciate you taking the time to view this content. All right, I hope you guys out there staying safe, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.